Ragazzi, volete che lo metta in italiano, visto che ci sarà da leggere probabilmente tanto? Facciamo uno strappo alla regola perché gli voglio dare una chance veramente onesta a questo gioco come visual novel. Anche se normalmente non porto le visual novel sul canale, vado in italiano. Magari me lo gioco poi in inglese quando sarà che me lo gioco per i fatti miei, però vorrei che nessuno si perdesse nulla, appunto. Io normalmente non accetto o chiedo review copy quando si tratta di visual novel perché so che non sono la persona più adatta a portarle e so che non... cioè non è facile portare una visual novel in live. Qualsiasi errore troverai in questi oscuri recessi, abbi il coraggio di andare fino in fondo. Non ci sono finali prematuri, non ci sono decisioni sbagliate. Esistono solo nuovi inizi e punti di vista. Questa è una storia d'amore. Se è tutto doppiato già cambia il discorso, lo posso tranquillamente mettere in inglese. Aspetta, proviamo a metterlo in inglese perché mi sa che tutto... se è doppiato spiegherebbe perché pesa tipo 10 giga. Per una visual novel è tanto. The Hero and the Princess, vediamo. Casomai torno al menu e lo
You're on
cambio.
a path in the
Ok.
woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Io così riesco a seguirlo, voi sentite l'audio quindi non devo leggervelo. Siamo tutti contenti. Gioco da femmine, no. Esatto, io so che è figo, so che ha recensioni incredibilmente buone. Se no non mi sarei neanche sprecato a dargli
You're
una
here to
chance.
slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Scusami, c'è l'auto... Boh. Ok, questo è ok, questo è l'auto, perfetto. Ah, ci sono un macello di scelte. La fine del mondo, di che cosa stai parlando? Questa?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Braid Vibes, ma lo sai che ho perso molto rispetto per Jonathan Blow nell'ultima settimana? Cioè, a tal proposito. Infatti, come fa una principessa?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Perché fondamentalmente è un supporter di Trump, di Elon Musk e di tutte le teorie complottiste al seguito e questa cosa mi ha fatto abbastanza schifo. Buonanotte Brodino, cioè purtroppo è un pattern che ho visto già, persone incredibilmente brillanti che in qualche modo cadono trappola di ste robe. Conoscevo un tizio che era praticamente un genio, che tipo programmava robot e dal Covid in poi soprattutto ho visto che hanno cominciato a sfasare tante persone che ritenevo intelligenti. E seguono un po' tutti questo pattern qua, Novax, scie chimiche, eccetera, eccetera, e quindi Trump, Elon Musk, eccetera.
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin.
Scusate la
Why would you be
digressione.
here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Cioè io posso ponderare sul fatto di non farlo perché se uccido sta principessa prevengo la fine del mondo.
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end.
Già. Posso dire non lo voglio fare, non può farlo qualcun altro.
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress?
C'ha ragione.
If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Le opere restano comunque capolavori. Sì, certo, almeno Braid per quanto mi riguarda, perché The Witness non è che l'abbia proprio adorato, anche se lo stimo. Però sì, è un po' come quando... mi ricordo se pure Jim Carrey aveva fatto qualcosa di strano che comunque mi è sceso molto, aveva detto o fatto, non mi ricordo.
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
Ok, quindi mi fa pure
And
fretta.
before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that,
Ok, l'hanno chiusa perché è
causality
pericolosa,
doesn't
non è
matter
pericolosa
here,
perché l'hanno
because the end
chiusa.
result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that.
Ok.
It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything.
Però prende come narrativa,
Unless,
cioè è
of
proprio
course,
figo.
you do your job and slay her.
Quindi posso fare... Posso andarmene, continuare alla cabina, ringraziarlo, dire che sono convinto, e poi dico posso parlare con lei. Ok. Io onestamente andrei a parlarci.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed.
Ok.
So sure, go, talk to her.
Te
See
la
how that
buttano
turns out
proprio
for all of
così.
us.
Però non è detto
You make your way up the
che sia un
short
narratore
path of the cabin.
affidabile.
You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
La
The
grafica mi aveva
interior of the
colpito da
cabin is almost
subito.
entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Cazzo. Io adesso non so se lo finisco qua, se dura poco, eccetera. Però già da quello che ho visto mi fa venire voglia di vedere tutte le varie alternative. Perché è molto molto intrigante. Questo piccolo effetto di tridimensionalità è molto gradito però. Il doppiaggio ti piace? Sì, guarda, non ci fosse stato il doppiaggio sarei stato molto più scoraggiato all'andare avanti e l'avrei messo in italiano per leggerlo io, però per fortuna non è così. E poi sì, direi che è un buon doppiaggio. Narratore di The Stanley Parable Vibes. Non so se è lo stesso, onestamente. Allora, lo prendiamo
You
il
take the blade
coltello.
from the
Non
table.
si sa mai.
It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
No, la potrei strangolare come se fosse un ratto.
The door to the basement creaks open. revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Penso che abbiano lo stesso
Don't
accento.
let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Però potrebbero essere la stessa persona in effetti, sai? Se non ci fosse scritto li confonderei. Ehi, Edi. Continuiamo
Still
senza
listening to reason.
parlarci.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Ti fa fare scelte in continuazione e te ne dà tante.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Anche lei vuole
Look
parlare.
how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
No, non lo... Me lo tengo.
You ignore the
Pure
trembling
che
in your hands
possiamo parlare
and tighten your
con il
grip on the
coltello in
blade.
mano.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Beh, direi che lei non si sta ponendo nel
I'm
modo più
probably
innocente
chained up in this basement
possibile.
for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Pubblicità, mi spiace. Ho deciso di tenere il coltello comunque, anche se lei mi ha suggerito di mollarlo. I'm not dropping the blade.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Ma sei seria? Che infame.
You stare at the princess, squinting. She squints back.
The two of you are gonna do this forever, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm sure.
For goodness sake, the two of you can't just stand around like this forever. Eventually, something is going to give, and I highly recommend that you be the one to take the initiative here.
Posso fare solo ste due cose? Cosa facciamo? Adesso non lo so, perché io volevo trovare un compromesso, ma a quanto pare non c'è. O vado disarmato o l'ammazzo. Non mi ispira fiducia, però la curiosità c'è. Tra l'altro questa è tipo una sorta di director's cut, c'ha un sacco di materiale in più. Tu dropperesti l'arma e mi sa anche a me che è l'unico modo per esplorare un po' più di trama.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Però onestamente non è...
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Sì, però a distanza di sicurezza.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess
No!
face to face.
C'ha pure gli occhioni.
We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
Lo so bene che è lì.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Che bello lo stile grafico comunque. Ok. Quindi awkward relationship. What's your name? How long have you been down here? Ok, chiediamo a lei se sa il motivo per cui la vogliamo uccidere, così vediamo se ci conferma quello che ci hanno detto.
Do you? So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But this isn't talking.
C'ha anche ragione, però sono io quello là che l'ha... cioè lei quella incatenata.
Don't just tell her that.
Ormai...
That's cute. Do you believe that? Do you think I'm some sort of monster? If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Già, non me l'hanno detto. Cioè, mi sembra tutto di tipo una gara tra capire chi ti sta mentendo tra i due.
Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust.
Esatto.
Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
Già.
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
Sì, ma principessa di cosa, tra l'altro? Ok, salviamo. Io devo dire che, cioè, Non so se è fatto con Nani Novel, questo non me lo ricordo, però c'è sicuramente tanto tanto lavoro dietro. La persona direttamente coinvolta nello sviluppo di una visual novel, mi rendo conto quanto cazzo di sbattimento c'è stato per scrivere tutta sta roba. E chissà quanti bivi e finali ci sono. Qual è il tuo nome?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Ok.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
C'ha anche ragione.
Too long.
Sì, ma dammela una risposta precisa. Parliamo d'altro.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Cioè, o meglio, ho detto parliamo di altro. Cioè, abbiamo parlato abbastanza, no? Davo per scontato che ci fossero altre scelte. Ti posso tirar fuori di qui. Allora, la posso uccidere, esaminare le catene per liberarla oppure tenerla rinchiusa, che è quello che farei io.
That seems like a pretty good compromise. Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
Sì, mi sta prendendo. Cioè,
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help.
onestamente non
And
me
if
la
you
conta
don't-
giusta.
I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
Praticamente lei mi ha minacciato, lui mi dice che lasciarla è troppo pericoloso. Lei chiaramente vorrebbe essere liberata. Io proverei ad ammazzarla. Ho l'approvazione della chat per questa cosa perché mi sembra l'opzione meno, paradossalmente meno problematica. Tanto poi non ci vuole molto a tornare qua nel caso volessimo rifarlo. Esatto, vediamo cosa succede.
You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle.
Come le immagini 3D su
She
Facebook.
casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow.
Minchia.
Shouldn't have hesitated.
But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down.
Questa è la mia mano.
As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the prince.
Ok, se premo lì interrompe la
You
voce.
shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
Allora, teoria. Noi siamo un mostro. E la principessa è un'umana. E evidentemente gli umani ce l'hanno con i mostri, per questo la dobbiamo uccidere.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of
No,
your
adesso sono io il ratto.
This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Ah!
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Sì.
A terrible sense of déjà vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
È un time loop.
You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her.
Voice of the Broken.
She's just going to kill us again. She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself.
Esatto.
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
Già.
Of course we died. We couldn't land a single blow on her, and she broke every bone in our body before she decided to let us die. What were we supposed to do to stop her then? What are we supposed to do to stop her now? It's pointless.
Se l'attacco senza
It's just
esitare
a
davvero,
princess.
magari.
Slaying her shouldn't have been difficult, but congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. The princess killed us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone?
Non ho capito se c'è ancora l'eroe o
If
se è stato sostituito dal
she ended the
Broken.
entire world, why should we even bother? We might as well just walk up to that cabin, break her chains and let her do whatever she wants. It's all the same in the end. Just because she's capable of ending the world doesn't mean you're not capable of slaying her. Both of those things can be true at the same time. So chin up. I believe in you.
Ok, no, perché non lo vedevo. Let's talk about this princess. Vediamo.
Just be quick about it.
Cosa posso...
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate
Mi piace
things.
che lui mi dice solo l'essenziale, la principessa non mi dice un cazzo di utile.
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't
Hai ragione,
know
c'è
you were
l'eroe,
special.
scusami, non avevo prestato
Of
attenzione.
course you're special. Why else would you be here?
Aiuterebbe magari che
Who cares if
avessero
you think
colori
we're
diversi,
special?
non lo so.
As far as I can tell, the only thing special about us is that we get to experience painfully dying all over again.
Ho l'impressione che ho acquisito questa nuova personalità perché sono morto in quel modo.
told you everything you need to know. Going
Infatti.
into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult.
Even if he's hiding something, I doubt it would help us. I'm sure knowing what he knows would only make things worse.
Mi piace
Can we
come
turn down the
si
pessimism
pone il
just a
narratore.
smidge?
I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic.
È quello
You're
che
being
dico anch'io
annoying.
quando mi dicono che sono
Just
pessimista.
ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included.
Ok.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Ok. Io sono pessimista, se lo dici tu, se lo dite voi, anzi. Procediamo alla cabina.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Lying? Cheating?
Che sono
Why would
realiste.
she even bother? She didn't need to do anything like that last time.
She caught us off guard last time.
Sì, era un po' generico perché generalmente è
Let's
quello
just
che mi
keep our
dicono
wits
gli
about
altri,
us.
eh.
At least one of you still has a shred of sense. Just make sure you listen to him and not that whiner.
Non vuoi la chat.
That's what you want. I guess I don't have a say here.
Ah, ecco.
The interior of the cabin
Oh.
is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest.
What?
The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
Volevo ammazzarla
The
subito,
blade is
sì.
your implement.
Vediamo
You
come,
need it
come
if you want to
si
do this
svolge la
right.
cosa.
Why do we feel so small?
We don't feel small. We are small.
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the
Cioè, il
princess.
narratore non mi crede. Scusami, voglio...
Walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
Ma c'è
What are you
un...
talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
Sì, puliamo...
Reach forward and rub your hand against the
Voglio
cabin.
vedere cosa siamo.
I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
Era solo un muro.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
It's a wall. Ok. Sì, comunque l'idea era di ammazzarla subito. Vediamo...
The door to the basement creaks
Porca
open,
puttana.
revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
Huh. This is actually kind of nice.
It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
Non ha la stessa
You
voce.
weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time.
Infatti.
We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her.
Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you,
Aiuto.
almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was
Dovevo ammazzarla subito la prima volta.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants.
Lei se lo ricorda di me.
You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
Micchia, me lo ordina stavolta. No.
As if on command, the blade slips from your grasp.
No.
It clatters uselessly to the floor. But we didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us? I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade. Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand.
Che figo sto gioco. Già. Le recensioni incredibilmente positive non potevano essere per caso.
Kneel.
No.
Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Your legs buckle, and your knees hit the floor.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk?
Vuole comunque parlare.
The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs.
Non avrei dovuto dirglielo.
I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it? It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson. You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she? Then you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it? He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her? Okay, first things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done.
Ok.
The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle
Quindi
you've already lost in your mind.
ce la faremo con la pura forza di volontà. Esatto, anch'io mi sono chiesto cosa succede se la prima volta la salvi o se magari ti giri e torni indietro. Ci sono tanti motivi che mi fanno venire voglia di ricominciarlo già, però ora non so dove va a finire. Ok,
I
ci
see.
mostreremo risoluti.
Perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters. Pick up that needle.
No.
It's what she wants. No objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but we might as well pick up the blade. As your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your
Ha chiamato
senses,
spillo.
but that manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer.
Non posso scegliere nient'altro se non...
You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand.
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad. Okay, yeah. We can do that.
Ci farà ammazzare da soli.
We were probably gonna stand anyway.
I hate you so much, all of you. Stop making me do things. I'm going to kneel here forever. Non posso selezionarle, però le pensa.
You can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
To define me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance. Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
What? You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward,
Vediamo se
and
posso.
end this.
Oh, we'll end this all right.
No, no.
Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay,
Oh.
I apologize for the unclear language. End her. Your body is sluggish and unresponsive. actively
Minchia,
fighting
non ce la
against you.
facevamo prima
Do
che
your
eravamo
best
nel
to
pieno
stagger
delle nostre
forward.
facoltà.
One step at a time, you move towards the princess.
Slitting your throat would have been a mercy, but it seems you're in need of a harsher lesson. Plunge that knife into your lungs.
I'm sorry.
Don't. As you take another step forward, the blade digs into your ribs, slicing through flesh with ease. It somehow feels like an entirely natural thing to do, while the simple act of walking has become an arduous impossibility. Then it slides back out, the wound burning as a small hiss of air escapes through the fresh orifice. Blood fills your lungs.
Now, do it again. Keep doing it until I give you permission to stop.
Those are just words. You don't have to listen to her.
Porca miseria.
It's what she wants.
You, heroic one, what are you doing? Don't just let this happen. Stop him from killing you. I'm on it.
I'm on it.
Your other hand locks around your wrist, struggling to keep it from perforating vital organs. But the blade still flails towards you, managing to slice bits of skin that plop to the floor to join the growing pile of blood and gore beneath you. Despite the pain, you manage to keep yourself in one piece, at least for now.
What a pitiful display. A wounded little bird thinking it can defy a god. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to hurt so much. You can choose a gentle end. You can choose to leave that punctured vessel for the next.
Continuiamo a provarci.
Or you can pathetically struggle against yourself until the floor of this temple is painted with the bloody impressions of your futility.
You continue to approach the princess, even as the repeated gouges of your blade expose bone and muscle to the open air of the
Puttana
basement.
miseria.
You know, this would be a lot easier if you gave us a hand. My influence only goes so far, and I can only juggle so many things at once. The best I can do right now is to continue to drive you forward. Believe me, this whole ordeal would be so much
Basta
easier
anche col
if I
suono,
didn't have
però.
to contend with free will.
You're the one making things difficult. You're the one making us hurt. She doesn't want to hurt us. She's just doing what she has to.
Stop.
As you finish crossing the room, you fall to your knees at the princess's feet, your chest heaving as your blood pools in the crevices of the stone floor, the coppery taste coating your throat. The princess kneels down, lifting your chin with her finger as her face lowers to yours.
Your devotion is misplaced. You've surrendered to delusion. But something about your defiant spirit speaks to perhaps,
No.
if you've learned your lesson, I can spare you from the release of death.
Minchia che narrazione. è bellissima, cioè il doppiaggio, la direzione proprio artistica e generale, registica, tra la musica, le visual e il copione anche.
There's a place at my side for you, if you'll have it.
Cioè,
Not as an
sto
equal,
provando
but as
reale
something worthy to
coinvolgimento
be
e tensione,
kept.
non è una cosa da
A
poco.
priest, perhaps, or a pet.
Well, that's demeaning, isn't it? Yes, how thoughtful of her. It's a mercy. Take it. I think he's given up whatever say he had at the start of all this. At least one of you is sane. She's within striking distance, and she's only negotiating now because she knows you have what it takes to put an end to her. Seize the moment before it's too late.
Come umana lei, sì. Slay the princess.
No.
Yes, though your body trembles, struggling to defend itself in the face of the princess's overwhelming will, you finally manage to break through, darting to her side before she can react. The wind of your freedom rushes through you, and you channel it into a decisive blow, stabbing into the soft flesh of her ankle and severing the tendons in an act of unyielding defiance. She falls to the floor, crashing unceremoniously to her knees. But you don't give her any time to recover. Your heart pounding with determination, you plunge your blade
Stavolta che
into
non
her
abbiamo
chest.
esitato mai,
As you find your target again and again, she laughs, crude
forse
emotion
no.
breaking through
Stavo
your
per dire sta
voice,
andando bene.
composure as your blade cuts her flesh. We can do this, can't we? You always could. The decision to give you this task was not made lightly. You're here for a reason.
It's not too late to pick up the pieces. It's not too late to toss that blade aside and beg for forgiveness.
Shut up.
I can't believe you would actually strike me. You
heathen! You worm! You defiler! You don't know the consequences of your arrogance!
Before you can strike the final blow, the princess lashes out, knocking you off your feet. There's an unsettling wet pop as your spine breaks, numbness and pain spreading through your body. As you rebound towards the ceiling in a moment of disorientated lightness, she drives her fist into your chest. Your body is crushed as she pulverizes you into the floor, the ground itself breaking from the impact. You lie there, broken, beyond pain, unable to even see what she's done to you. But the princess is succumbing to her own wounds as well. She looks down upon her body in abject horror and disgust.
You made me use my hands. I can feel myself twisting into something new, something dull, something defiled. What have you done to me?
You're monsters and conspirators. I can't bear to watch this.
The princess has been nothing but cruel to you. You should feel liberated by her fall.
But I don't feel liberated. I feel empty.
Aside from the pain, I feel fine. She collapses to the floor. Her glassy eyes watch, unblinking, yet somehow still full of anguish and fear, as the two of you perish together. I suppose we were never gonna get a happy ending here, were we? Don't let those be your final thoughts. You saved the world. That's worth something. I guess. Regardless of how you feel about it, it's finally over. Thank you. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Capitolo 3. Io voglio morire, bellissimo.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of the path... Okay, what the hell is that? I think he's upset. And what's he got to be upset about? We just killed a god.
Exactly. You heathens destroyed the most beautiful thing that ever was, and ever will be.
Can't say I have much sympathy for you. She was bad for us and you almost got us killed.
Scusami. Peccato non si possa alzare la voce. Bassiamo il resto magari.
You're being too generous. He did get us killed. All right, enough chatter. Got a thing.
Adesso abbiamo lo
If you
stubborn.
don't mind, I'd like to do it without any more interruptions. Okay, great, you're listening. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a... If your thing is telling us about the princess, don't waste your breath. We know all about her, and it's hardly a path in the woods at this point, is it? Look, if the world around you is changing, especially all the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return. Whatever happens next, that's it. There won't be any more
Ok, sono 3
do-overs,
capitoli,
so
quindi.
you'd better take things seriously.
Cazzo, sì che è intensa la cosa. Vorrei sapere dove siamo, cosa è successo, cosa devo fare. Mi ha appena detto che l'ho appena uccisa, quindi che senso ha andare a ucciderla?
Then what happens? Have you even been listening? It's the end is what happens. Yeah, but is there something after the end? How am I supposed to know? The end means finality. It's not like I can just peek on over to the other side and tell you what it's like there. If there even is a there, it doesn't matter because we're going to win. Now that's exactly the sort of mindset I like to see. Don't let yourself be consumed with self-doubt. Don't flirt with oblivion. Just focus on the present and everything will be absolutely fine.
In alternativa potrei andarmene, però io adesso voglio andare alla cabina.
Good, we're all on the same page. It isn't long before you find
Cabina,
yourself at the end of the
cascina, non so come si
path,
traduce.
staring up at the cabin
Cabin.
on the hill. You'll find the princess within.
Sarebbe una casa di montagna.
End her. That's it? No final words of advice?
Sì, guarda, io
Waste any more time.
non esiste che mi
Any
fermo
advice I
perché
give at this point is something you've already heard.
If there's still a princess at the cabin, maybe we can salvage things. Maybe if we just grovel and apologize, things can go back to how they were
sono
before.
troppo curioso di sapere cosa
Cut it out,
succede.
will you? We need to be tough right now, and you're making it so much harder than it has to be.
E poi ho
So
ragione di
stop.
credere che questo sia
Whining.
l'ultimo capitolo. È una durata che ci sta.
The interior of the cabin is a place that feels long forgotten. There was once an elegance to its construction, carved marble columns holding a high arched roof, vaulted windows letting in the weak starlight. But that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it. A viscous fluid seeps from cracks in the
Mi
stone
spiace che
walls,
sia andato Dan,
and
gli
congeals
sarebbe
into chaotic
piaciuto un
streaks of
sacco
writhing
questo.
nerves and wet clumps of
Era
living
uno di quelli che
fluid.
me l'aveva
That's horrible.
neanche consigliato, però suggerito.
The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Questa volta lo specchio blocca la porta.
A mirror? There is no mirror. There's the pedestal, the blade sitting on the pedestal, and the door to the basement. Just tell us where the door is. I'd like to get back to fighting, and if you want us to kill
Che
her so
strano.
bad, I'm sure
Questa
you
storia
will.
dello specchio pure prima
No
mi
more
aveva
messing around.
incuriosito.
I don't know what to tell you. There isn't a mirror because I would know if there was a mirror. You're either seeing things or you're confused on the definitions of door and mirror. Or you're seeing things. That seems far more likely. What are you trying to say exactly?
He thinks we've lost it, that we're succumbing to madness, that something in us has broken.
That's an unnecessarily melodramatic way to describe a hallucination, but sure. I'm not going to waste time arguing with any of you. It went away after we touched it last time. Let's just do it again.
Allora prendiamo.
You take the blade
La
from the
lama.
pedestal. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Sì, l'hai già
Good.
detto.
Nothing feels better than gripping cold steel.
Approcciamo lo
You
specchio.
step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. It's if you don't see it. You really don't, do you? How strange. It really is just like
storia.
last time. Are we really hallucinating? Why here? Why now?
Smash it. Smash it to pieces. It's the only thing keeping us from her.
Don't you want to know what we'll see in there? We won't be able to see anything if we smash it.
Nah, I'm with him on this one. Smash it. Let's get violent already.
Do whatever you want with it. The mirror isn't real, so how you handle it doesn't matter, aside from wasting dangerous amounts of time.
Allora, io onestamente lo pulirei invece di romperlo, perché voglio scendere a vedere la principessa, però se preferite posso provare a romperlo. Sì.
You reach forward and drag your hand across the door leading to the basement.
Ho detto che siamo d'accordo.
As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the stone floor, its ancient hinges moaning as it reveals the dim path ahead.
Why am I not surprised?
You step forward into the darkness. The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. A high vaulted ceiling stretches up into a gloom beyond your sight, while walls wet with tumorous growths press in uncomfortably at your sides. You feel both unprotected and trapped, at once exposed and claustrophobic.
Allora, salviamo. History. Niente, volevo leggere se diceva qualcosa riguardo lo specchio, ma dice semplicemente che apriamo la porta, ok.
The air is thick, its odor an oppressive violence. The metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
Chissà che
Was
cosa...
severing the tendons of my ascension not enough for you? Was it not enough to rend my divine heart? Come, see the horrors you've wrought upon my flesh, and feel my hands set upon your throat. See how you've soured my once divine melody.
She's so angry with us. Why? Why did you desecrate her? Why couldn't I stop you?
You've got to stop thinking about her like that. It isn't doing anyone any good.
She's not some untouchable god. She's an abomination, and we're going to put an end to her once and for all.
Whatever she is now is our fault. If she's an abomination, then what does that make us?
She was going to end the world last time. If I might interject, you didn't make her into an abomination. She's always been what she is. It's why you're here, and it's why your task is so important. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. The chamber's walls are painted in blood, a
Okay.
deep, sickening red that drips down in clotted streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone. The princess stands in its center, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in a tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
Do you know what I'm going to do to you?
Non è ancora morta comunque.
There's not so much a moment of hesitation before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin. Blood drips from the place where metal meets flesh. And then,
Mi fa
with a
strano
nauseating sound, the
che
skin
non si liberi,
tears.
ecco.
It plops to the ground, and she pulls her red, glistening arm free from her bindings. She is loose, and she is coming for you.
La vedo dura.
It's the punishment you all deserve for what you did to her. It's the punishment I deserve for letting it happen.
Screw that. We can win. We've done it before and we'll do it again, only this time we'll make it out the other side. Hell, she's practically done most of the work for us.
Credo il protagonista sia una specie di rappresentazione del disturbo di personalità multiple a sto punto sono aperto a qualsiasi interpretazione. Davvero mi è salvato uno screen. Ok, volevo usare la S per scendere, ma a quanto pare mi salva uno screenshot. A posto. Allora, posso scusarmi, posso provare a farla ascoltare, posso annunciare che l'ammazzo, oppure posso ammazzarla o farmi ammazzare. Andiamoci proprio brutali di nuovo, magari. Cioè, ha il cuore esposto.
Locked on each other, both of you prepared to lay down your very essence in one blow. It's now or never. Let's make it a beautiful blaze of glory. With a horrifying squelch, you are unwound. No, that's our stuff. She can't just do that.
Vuol dire
She just
unwound.
did. Unfortunate, I know, but reality is reality.
You should all just be grateful she's decided to keep us alive. Even in her defilement, she is merciful.
We're not out for the count just yet.
Scusate, cerco un attimo unwound che devo capire, perché non ci arrivo neanche dal contesto. Mi è tipo aperto, non lo so. Tipo rilasciato dalla tensione, non ho capito. Rilassarsi. Però mi sa che mi ha wound proprio nel senso letterale, cioè che mi ha sventrato. Avrebbe senso. Perché give my insights back. Vedo le budelle, esatto. Mi è sbudellato, grazie per il termine tecnico. Cioè, lui può ancora provare a parlarci. Ci riproviamo per l'ultima volta.
Skin flayed and organs flapping, you charge towards the princess. That's right. She'll never stop us.
Siamo morti già una volta.
Still you defy your god! I've made the mistake of underestimating your resolve before. Never again!
You swing for her heart. What's left of you explodes. So that's it. It's over.
Mi è piaciuta la
Like that.
pausa.
Of course it's over. It's been over since the very first moment we laid eyes on her.
This is the final note of your discordant melody. You will not return again, because you will live in that single tone forever.
No! It's not over. We're a god killer. We've returned from death itself twice.
Didn't you hear her? We're not dead.
What's the difference? From many perspectives, there isn't one. But functionally, that is, from your perspective, the difference is massive. You are entirely laid bare, spread to each corner of the room, yet you are wholly aware of the state you're in. Incapable of movement, but entirely capable of perception. In fact, perceiving your state is the only thing you can currently do. You are preserved, perfectly, in the amber of her torment. We're more than this. We've lost bodies before. We just have to lose this one and make another.
Ma stavolta non ce lo fa fare.
I don't know. You're the one who makes things happen, so make it happen. Who said anything about getting to a new cabin? No, we make something new here.
It won't matter if you do. She'll just pull us apart again.
And preferably, we make something without him. Absolutely not. I refuse to let you just decide to die with your task unfinished. If you die here, the world is doomed.
Ok.
Your Honor, where the hell are you? Are you already at the Princess? This place is different. Rotten. Death all around us. I want to go back.
The Hunted di nuovo.
Already? And I remain here. Is this our final destination?
The Princess tilts
Credo
her
che
head
questo sia il
with a
finale.
gesture. You are unwound. Again? Already?
Siamo
Clearly I
bloccati.
left you with too much room last time. Perhaps this cell will hold you better.
You know what to do. Again.
Siamo in un loop. Questo finale siamo noi che moriamo e ci continuiamo a riprovare.
Your Honor,
She's gorgeous. Absolutely divine.
Smith nel
You
nuovo.
guy who describes things. You better start saying what we do this time.
and what are you doing?
Attacking her, obviously.
Right. You charge towards the Princess and...
There is no spark in you. Only matter devoid of life.
you explode.
Again.
And again.
You're on a path. We are not on a fucking path. I have no idea where we are.
We're in the middle of a fight, so act like it.
So you are. Okay, you dive towards the Princess and we're unwound. Yes, her head swivels creakily on her neck, fire in her eyes as your body unravels with blinding pain.
No.
Again.
The Cheated, sì. È vero, i disegni all'inizio erano completamente in bianco e nero. Hanno aggiunto il rosso poi. O comunque le tonalità del rosso.
Your Honor,
No time. You narrate now.
yes, of course. Pristine blade grasped firmly in your hands, you fly towards the Princess before she can turn to face you. We might actually do it this time.
I can feel that body of yours slicing through the air. How many more times will I have to scatter you?
As she turns towards you, the very essence of your being begins to flake away. Your muscles, then organs, then nerves laid bare and screaming as the rest of you is stripped of substance. Oh, boo-hoo. It's just a body.
Voice of the
It
Cold.
just needs to last long enough to sink this blade into her heart.
Però non ce la facciamo mai.
You are disintegrated. Everything goes dark.
How many times do I need to pulverize you before you finally understand? You are nothing. An empty void that dared to dream it was alive.
That feels right.
In
If
che
we're
senso?
nothing, then why are we still here?
Because we always have been. If we're nothing, then how can we do anything? The same way we always have. Being nothing has never stopped us. Now end this. End her.
You cannot win if you cannot be.
And this.
How? I've scattered the atoms you clung to and there is nothing there to find. You can't exist.
It's over.
Oh, I think I understand you now. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do the things I did to you. I don't think I knew what I was doing.
She sounds genuine. They always do in the end.
It's cold, but I'm going to be okay, right?
Lo
She's gone.
specchio.
Where did she go? Should we try and find her?
Mi sa che l'abbiamo ammazzata
There's
davvero.
that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Anche il narratore è andato.
He is. Does that mean the world ended? He was never going to outlast us.
The world didn't end. We're still here. Come on. We just need to keep going.
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
Ignore the cowards. You have to look.
Già.
I'm begging you, don't do this. It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
Magari stavolta ci riusciamo a guardare davvero. Ok, siamo un mostro, un ghoul, qualcosa del genere. Siamo noi la principessa? No, no, per fortuna. Magari in un certo senso lo siamo, però non lo so. Come procedi alla cabin? Ma puttana la miseria è ancora lì.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Posso attaccarla, distruggerla, posso parlarci.
How can the world have ended if we are talking? I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you? I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks. You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us. I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free. She is part of me, and part of me is her. You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends? Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is desecration. She placed the weight of her agony on you, yet it is she who unwound herself. There is passion and empathy buried under her unfeeling skin. She will make for a weathered heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally found peace. I know only that they are. You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you. Nothing as we are. but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
È tipo un invito a fare altre path narrative?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home. You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold. How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
Tra l'altro ho molte vibes da Planescape Torment in questo discorso.
Then we will be here forever, as we are now, unfinished, dry, hollow. Everything, until we meet again. I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
Se aspetto...
If you need time, then I'll wait with you.
Wait forever.
You are as I am now, and forever is a long time to remain undone. I am not you, but I know that I would return before forever was finished. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping? If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage? You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return to mine.
What? Non ho capito se... Aspetta un attimo che lo riapro e tutto.
You have returned to me. Though you were gone mere moments, I never left your side.
Ok, sì, è normale, mi sa, perché... Cioè, nel senso, mi è venuto il dubbio che fosse crashato, ma era un momento troppo specifico per essere a caso. E non è il primo gioco che vedo che crasha intenzionalmente. Però ok, ho sbloccato un achievement per aver fatto sta cosa. E se io le dico di farmi dimenticare?
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Urk!
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Wow! Ma bellissimo! Cioè... Tra l'altro ho sbloccato questo achievement che dice... The real Slay the Princess starts here. You'll know it when you see it. Io non so se lo continuerò in live. Me la devo pensare un attimo. Perché è un sacco bello e lo voglio continuare sicuro. E mi sembra quasi uno spreco a fermarmi qua. Cioè a non streamare il resto. Però me la penso. C'è accessibilità. Ah, minchia, sarebbe stato figo vederlo prima, però va bene. Qui ci sono i font per dislessici. Ottima cosa. C'è il testo ad alto contrasto. Ok. E dico, cazzo, mi ha... mi ha sorpreso veramente tanto. Era intrigante dall'inizio, ma poi è andato ben oltre qualsiasi aspettativa. Tu hai fatto fatica a leggere, mi dispiace. Però non pensavo che fosse un problema, anche a parte che non lo sapevo che c'era quella cosa, però ho detto tanto è doppiato, quindi uno lo segue così. Tu vorresti continuare a vedere... Allora, ci ho giocato 80 minuti per arrivare tipo a quel punto lì. Continuarlo adesso mi sembra una pessima idea, però se ogni loop, tra virgolette, dura 80 minuti è un'ottima... Oh Cristo! Mi si è gelato il sangue per questa cosa, grazie gioco. Dicevo che 80 minuti mi sembra un'ottima durata per fare tipo una sessione durante le varie live e piano piano esplorare altri pezzi. Wow! Guarda, escluso roba tipo Phoenix Wright, che comunque è diverso. In termini di visual novel credo sia la più bella che abbiamo mai giocato. Cioè già così mi ha stregato sta roba. Essere coinvolto in una visual novel in live non mi era mai capitato. Sono davvero senza parole. Sono davvero senza parole. Diciamo che quando tu vedi un gioco che ha delle recensioni proprio a bomba, ti dici, forse merita la mia attenzione anche se magari a vederlo non mi ispira. Ecco perché. Sì, dopo Rat Shaker è il più bello gioco dell'anno, assolutamente. Cioè, il peccato è che abbiamo già giocato Rat Shaker, quindi le nostre aspettative, cioè, ormai ci ha viziato. Ok, quindi adesso fra poco lei tipo... Penso che sia un loop di animazioni. Solo che la prima volta mi ha preso completamente alla sprovvista. Wow. Cioè io ero qua tranquillo che parlavo, aiuto. Comunque sì, o ti aspetto per continuarlo, perché ci sta che sei intrigato anche te, oppure lo continuo qua in live, me la penso, perché questo è proprio un monkey wrench nella mia schedule, però porca troia, devo sapere come va avanti. Cosa mi sblocca altri finali o progressi? Le immagini? No, credo proprio di no, credo che ci sia semplicemente una cosa estetica che sicuramente all'inizio del gioco neanche c'era. perché non dico che è spoiler vedere l'aspetto della principessa e tutto, però mi sa di cosa da mettere dopo, dopo che l'hai fatto almeno una volta. Veramente tanta roba. Ringrazio i dev per questa review copy, io la pubblico il prima possibile, mi sa questa. Praticamente hanno fatto, cioè il gioco non so quando è uscito di preciso, però appunto la Pristine Cut è uscita da pochissimo e quindi hanno fatto un altro, diciamo, giro per distribuire review copy. Io non l'avevo cagato all'inizio questo gioco. Pure molto bella la musica, eh.